wanted to talk to you guys about the New Year traditions in Russia. And the first thing that I wanted to note is that all of the Christmas decorations, all of the decorating of the Christmas trees in the US usually start much earlier than in Russia, because for us, New Year's is one of the largest, the biggest holidays of the entire year. So we start decorating our Christmas trees and the house and the interior about 1 to 2 weeks before December 31st, so much later than you guys. And then also most people actually get together like as a family and celebrate the New Year's together right at midnight, and have a festive dinner, and maybe have some friends over, and then young people typically leave and continue celebrating the night with their friends, and maybe other family members that are also on the younger side and want to party right after 1 a.m. Titan is joining us here. And so we usually sit down and have that festive dinner around 10 p.m., 2 hours before midnight. And that's the time for us to reminisce about the passing year, right? All of the good and the bad, maybe some of the conclusions we want to draw about the last year. And so that's usually the time when we enjoy our festive dinner with champagne, with the herring under the coat salad, the Russian salad that's called Olivier, some sparkling wine or champagne. It could be small red and black caviar sandwiches with some butter and maybe a baguette, toasted baguette. So delicious. And so we enjoy that festive dinner all together as a family. And then 5 minutes before midnight, we usually listen to the pre-recorded address of the country's president. And he usually talks about, again, like all of the good and the bad that happened in the year, all of the accomplishments and the advancements, the progress that we've experienced in the last year, and gives a little bit of like a preview of the plans for the next year. So this is the time where we're all already kind of like standing actually right a few minutes before midnight with a glass of champagne. Everybody usually has a glass of champagne already ready, and we're ready to toast. Here's the midnight, here's the Kremlin clock of Moscow in everybody's house. The TV is on and the clock is beating, right? So all of the houses are ready to celebrate the New Year's. So we clink the champagne, the glasses, enjoy it, then usually give each other hugs and kisses. And so that's how we welcome the new year. And that's also the time when in the next maybe 15 to 30 minutes, the Father Frost comes in. So that's our Santa Claus, right? With his granddaughter, Snegurочка, which is the snow girl. And so they come in, usually it's the family members dressed in the costumes and just like having fun. And they give presents to all of the family members. After exchanging the presents, that's the time when families usually either stay home and continue enjoying the festive dinner, or they go outside and then continue celebrating the New Year's with their friends, family, or strangers. We typically go to the nearest town square. There's usually a huge Christmas tree already decorated there. There's typically already people celebrating outside, and so we continue drinking champagne or maybe something stiffer than that, and hold hands and go all together around the Christmas tree singing songs and maybe doing a Russian traditional dance. Maybe somebody brings, like a phone with a song or something going on. So some kind of music is usually up to. And so people just continue celebrating, even if it's just complete strangers. Everybody's in a festive mood. There's fireworks all around, and people typically party until, I would say, like 5, 6 a.m. So at least the younger generation definitely stays up that late. And I remember myself also enjoying those New Year's nights till like very, very late, well, like morning time, right? And then we all come back home. Either have another snack because the festive dinner is still there. We usually cook so much that there are definitely leftovers for the day after and the day after. And then usually the day after, like our friends or very close family members come over and we all enjoying the festivities together. And then that goes on for probably about near to like 10 days or 2 weeks right after the New Year's. We're still celebrating, and typically The president gives the entire country the first week definitely off, and that's a lot for like the corporate companies. Of course, like private businesses, entrepreneurs are typically, you know, working the next day, right? Like it's their livelihood, it's their business, and the grocery shops are definitely open, like you can get gas and everything like that. But typically bigger companies, enterprises, factories, and I don't know, plants. So those are usually all closed down, at least for about 10 days, because for us, Christmas usually comes on January 7th. And so that's also a big celebration for us. And that is actually the holiday when we just spend that time with the family. So there's no outside celebrations. It really is a family tradition to just celebrate all together at home with a festive dinner again. Maybe some close family could come over, or maybe close friends that are celebrating with you too. Again, like all that entire week, and maybe a few even days after, depending on where people work and how many days they get off, it could be up to 14 days in January that people are completely off or enjoying their paid vacation, right? For with a festive dinner and all the activities with their friends. I mean, this is amazing. I absolutely typically love that time of the year. I love to visit my family at that time of the year also, because everybody's off and everybody just has like this heightened kind of, you know, festive mood, and everybody's cheerful and joyful, and it's really nice to be there, especially with some of the traditions of the Father Frost and exchanging gifts, just something similar with Christmas here in the US. And yeah, it's just a really special time of the year, and it's nice that we are able to always combine the traditions of enjoying this time with the family, you know, where you actually celebrate the New Year's, where you meet the very first seconds and minutes of the New Year with your family and your loved ones. Just enjoy that first bubbles of champagne together, right? And then you can just go off and enjoy the company of your friends and maybe some other people that are, you know, good to have in your life. So I feel like that's a very neat tradition, and I always miss my family during that time. So we definitely put up the Christmas tree a bit later this year. I'm just glad that it's here before the New Year's, and that we can also as a family celebrate with our daughter and my wife the New Year's a bit, maybe even like with the Russian traditions, some caviar and some champagne this year, and just enjoy this beautiful Christmas tree and each other. So that's always nice, and it's a very special, magical time of the year. Since we're talking about the Russian winter holidays that are most celebrated out of the entire year, I must mention the Orthodox Christmas and then the Old New Year. Wait, what? The Old New Year? Yep. So I'm going to tell you a little bit in a sec here about this famous oxymoron of Russian holiday. But first, we're going to start with Christmas, because it usually falls on January 6th to the 7th, following the Julian calendar. And the US operates on the Gregorian calendar, which is a slightly different system, right? So our Orthodox Christmas is typically a nice family dinner with just nothing really special, I would say. Just a nice family quiet night. But one important staple dish that I do want to mention is kutia. And it was always particularly very important in our household because my mom is Russian, my dad's Ukrainian. Kutia is typically very famous, especially in the Ukrainian tradition. So he would always remind her to make it for Russian Christmas dinner. And the way how you make kutia is you boil white rice, you have some soaked raisins, there is some poppy seeds that you mix in, a little bit of chopped walnuts, mix it all with honey. And I actually have a little bit of white rice here boiled for us today. Then I have some soaked raisins, like I mentioned. So let's just mix those in. Instead of poppy seeds, I'm using chia seeds, just for some color and texture. And then some chopped walnuts. I actually finely chopped them just in case our toddler decides to taste some kutia. And so let's just add a little bit of honey as well. And this is typically the dish that you always start your Christmas dinner with, right? Before you taste anything else on the table, you pop in a spoonful of kutia, and that's just kind of like the beginning of your Christmas night with a family dinner, right? So let's just mix it all in nicely. And I'm just dying to give it a taste.
And you know what? I like have to be honest that I forgot actually about this dish for a while, and recently I'm not sure what's been happening, but I've been really coming back to my Ukrainian roots, like really trying to remember my family traditions, right? And I think that's just kind of prompted by the birth of our daughter and the fact that I actually want her to know how I grew up, right? Like what was important during the family time and the like holiday time, right? With our family, especially since we had a blended family of Russian and Ukrainian side, and we still have so many relatives on both sides, right? And some of them are very conservative, and they just love their country. They love where they live. They love their traditions and culture. And so I definitely want to pass all of that along onto our daughter. So let me give it a taste. Yeah, I think this is like the perfect combination with sweetness, a little bit of that poppy kind of taste with like texture with the chia seeds. This is perfect. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I hope you guys try it. Very easy to make, right? Like just pop in some white rice in a rice maker and you're done. So with Christmas, you know, you stay home, you celebrate with your family. Then a week after the Orthodox Christmas, we have one more festive reason to pop the champagne, right? And that's the Old New Year. That's usually celebrated on the night of January 13th to the 14th, again, following the Julian calendar. That's typically the night, the festive night that you do with family, maybe some friends. I know nowadays people actually like to go out and have some old New Year parties with like dancing, karaoke, whatever. So with us growing up, we would always stay home and it was like just another family dinner, which was really nice. And the only other thing that I wanted to mention is that up to the 14th of January, the Russian government typically gives the entire country 2 weeks off, right, for the holidays. So after January 14th, once you're done with all of the celebrations, that's the time when Russians typically start taking the Christmas tree down, all of the decorations, and then finally get back to work after those 2 fabulous weeks. And I wish we actually had that in the US, because I feel like it's really nice to spend that time for whatever reason, right? Like maybe with friends, maybe with family, extra time with family, or maybe just by yourself, maybe just enjoying like a nice vacation that you can go somewhere with your family or by yourself. And it's just nice to have that time off work and as a paid government time. Oh my gosh, I wish we just had that here. Happy New Year to you guys. Hopefully it's going to be an abundant, healthy, peaceful year for you and your family, for your relatives. Take care and continue enjoying and supporting our channel. We really love every time we see comments from you. And if you ever have any questions or anything that sparked your particular attention, we'd definitely always love to hear from you. And we'll just continue on our Family Chronicles journey.